Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartins.
Okay, many things have happened. I'm at a comedy. I'm texting Maria Bamford. She wants to do comedy lunch right now. We can't because we're doing a Jackie and Laurie right now. So,
is she nearby?
Yeah, she's across the street at the coffee shop.
Just want to pop in for a visit, a mid-pod visit, give our non-Patreons the taste of what it's like when we have a third comic, a third female comic. Sorry, Kyle, you are always our third comic, forever and always.
Thank you.
Wow, there you go. No, she's across the street, so we're in my room.
Oh, it's impossible to cross streets these days. I get it, Jackie. That's an acceptable excuse.
Oh, I'm sorry. Should I take
no.
this? Let me just take this and just go fucking hunt her down. And so
that would be kind of exciting. We should do a walking podcast one day.
Remember when we were in the car and you had forgotten about your set at Flappers?
That was a good
I do
one.
remember something about a car.
Yeah,
oh, yes, I do.
And then we just recorded it at Flappers and in the car there and back.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
That was a crazy episode. That might have been back when we were at Nerdist, and it was when Kyle was part of a rotating producer.
Yes. All I know is it's never good enough to get us nominated for Best Comedy Web Podcast. You know, on these like podcast awards, never.
I don't. We could just
weekly for 7 years, and it's not enough.
It's almost like it's a racket.
It's almost like it's completely made up. As my father would tell you, just make up awards. No one checks.
We are the winners, the annual winners of the Jackie and Laurie Award.
Let me tell you, the Jackie and Laurie podcast.
7 years in a row.
7 years in a row, we are we are number one in France. My father is always like, just tell them that it was in France. And I was like, they have the internet in France. She says, love to Laurie.
Yeah.
Oh, she sent me a Muppets gift. All is forgiven.
All is forgiven. So there you go. I have just walked from the Traverse City Comedy Fest workshop. And this workshop was called Social Media Podcasts Best Practices. And I have taken many notes because even though I was the most experienced,
right?
Guess what? Everybody who's in their 30s knows more shit than I do.
Of course, yes.
It was great.
And what are they doing? Anything you can drop here?
I'm supposed to use. I'm supposed to use. There's a free thing. Like I do Adobe Express because Andy has the Adobe suite. But remember when Carmen Morales was making all those Spark things?
I still have Spark on it. I'm afraid if I delete Spark, it's like deleting Carmen from my life.
It is also, you won't be able to reopen it because they turned it into Adobe Express, which is a paid thing. So do not delete Spark.
Okay.
But there is another free thing called Canva, Canva.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And you can use that. And then they also recommended, there was a lot of talk about how everybody should have good mics. And I said,
that's rude.
Laurie doesn't care, is what I told them.
Mm-hmm.
And so
we're traveling. Do you have a mic with you right now?
Yeah, I do. Look what's happening.
Oh,
it's not the best mic, but
a gaming mic. You're a gamer, okay?
But what I'm telling you is that I could get an Audio Tech, an AT2020 with a USB cable that would plug right into it. And then, and that would supposedly be a quality mic, but I'm actually not going to sweat it because I own so many mics. And I also have a Zoom H6 and a Zoom H4. And I'm not using any of them for the Dork Forest. I'm literally just recording on this thing into Audacity on my laptop. And then Patrick Brady is syncing them. But on this website, on this podcast, we're literally doing it all through Zoom, and Kyle is taking the audio from Zoom, and it sounds nice.
Thank you.
People are fine.
You know what? Welcome to the Good Enough Club, okay? We are touring comedians, okay? We can't keep, I'm already bringing air purifiers and t-shirts. Now I got to bring in an audio setup.
It's nothing that a couple $100 worth of plugins isn't solving on the week.
And let me just tell you something. I just found this out about merch. The new big merch out there, beanies. Everybody's selling a beanie. Are you selling a beanie, Kyle?
Not yet, but I want to.
They're light.
Yeah.
And because I strong armed my way.
All.
Right, and
Mhm.
they're light, and I got an improv one, which by the way, it just says that's where it says the improv right there.
Improv.
Nice.
It doesn't say the improv. It's almost like it's a suggestion to improvise.
Right. I also do a small amount of Zoom mime. And yeah, so and then I did pick up I brought some merch. This is the first comedy festival I brought merch to
Yeah.
because the show I did last night was at a comedy club, the TC Comedy Club.
Cool.
And I was like, comedy clubs have a place to sell merch, or if they don't, I don't have a problem strong arming my way into creating a table, which is
Right.
which is what I did at Rooster Teeth Feathers last week, and it worked out just fine. And when you're there next month, you should tell
Yeah.
me if they've kept the merch table where I put it, which is on the aisle where on the railing where you go to the bathroom.
Oh, that area. Well,
Yeah,
but people, do they exit from there after the first show?
no,
I mean, how did? Okay.
no, it just still. But the thing is it's not full yet. They're still building.
Okay.
I do wish there had been in part of the remodel had been a place to sell merch, but it didn't happen.
Jackie,
And
your
so
disappointment with the club remodel has been well documented.
that's right. So
Well,
yeah.
No, keep going. You're on a roll. I
Oh,
thought you were done. I have little things, but hey, we got an hour. Go.
I wanna do this woman as a comic of the week, maybe next week or the week after. I know we have a list going because there's
Yes.
so many great women comics.
Oh my God.
Right now.
Enough with you guys. Stop it.
You are gifted and young and breathing down our fucking necks. And so
Yes. God, I'm just trying to work here, you dumb bitches. Do something else.
there is a Native American woman comic out of Albuquerque who's at this comedy festival, and I got to see her set last night. And her name is like Adrienne Chalepa or Chalepa.
We'll get her right for next week.
We will get her
Now
right
you
for next
ruined
week.
the surprise.
Surprise! Anyway, but because here's the thing, last week we talked about it. I posted my Native American frozen food bit on.
See where this is going.
This is going right. I posted on Instagram Reels, and I've gotten probably a dozen or 20 comments from different Native Americans over the different platforms.
Interesting.
Some
All
on
right.
TikTok and some on Reels. And one woman on Reels didn't like it. She said it's a little weird. It feels like you're punching down. So my theory is that the bit itself has maybe 2 more years in it until the language has changed so greatly that it will look like I'm making fun of it instead of trying to educate and support. And
it is. It's a language change. I know
yeah.
your intention. It's very obvious. And if people are pretending they were born in 2020 and don't remember how, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you do have to update your language so you don't sound
Completely.
300 years old. That's no big deal.
Right, and the bits from 2015. So from a Conan set in 2015, and which is why I've started watermarking the set as that. And then
what do you do? Just put a little like from 2015 in the corner?
I did hashtag 2 dope queens, or I did hashtag Conan 2015.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
And like the one that's running now is from 2 dope queens from 2018, and I put that on there too. I'm trying to put them so that everybody knows what the hell what's. But remember how Will and Grace? Have you tried to watch Will and Grace lately?
I didn't try when it was initially running.
Right.
So,
well, it would occasionally be in syndication in the afternoons when I would lie down. So
I didn't watch TV shows at night. All right, I was out. Sorry, I was working, and I wasn't going to come home to a TiVo and watch.
But 3.5
hours.
But 3 to 6 was I would lay down. Too much info. Masturbate and watch. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Whatever. I would. It's comedy nap time.
You know what? Guys We Fuck is making a lot more money than us, so go for it.
Now,
how about we call this one times we masturbate?
I don't mind it as a hashtag because I was thought Good Enough Club might be a nice name. But if you try to watch Will and Grace right now, it feels enormously condescending to the gay community. But at the time, there were Am I freezing up or is Laurie
Bad.
freezing?
Laurie is.
Okay, there are very few gay
I've-
characters on TV, and the networks had to sell gay people to straight people who were half of whom were legislating against them. So so that's
And
how
they
they had
did,
to do it.
and it worked, and it worked.
I think that and Ellen
Worked.
massive
Yes.
are still underrated in how they changed culture a little bit, just enough to make people's lives better, you know.
Mhm,
Are we
mhm.
freezing audio wise still, or are we still?
No, you're good now. It was just for a
You're
second.
back.
Oh, so
It
Jackie,
was just
you're
for a
not
heartbeat.
freezing. You were just looking down and doing something else. Okay, I thought you were frozen.
My phone, because we had comedy brunch yesterday with a bunch of the comics. It's been really nice to meet all of these. It's really cool meeting all these young comics. I was just telling Kyle before we started, they all look like some version of absolutely everyone I've known for the last 35 years.
I know. Every young I think we talked about this before. I was like, oh, I know an older version of you, and he's dead. I hope your life goes better.
No shit.
Oh my god.
No shit. It is true. But I
Not comfortable with people throwing around the phrase punching down like they're comedy experts, okay?
yeah.
I still hate when civilians use that. I don't even like it when comedians use it. It's like sometimes jokes deliberately punch down, and that's why they're funny, because they're so fucking mean.
Well, yes, but to do mean jokes is, and quite honestly, you have a goddamn gift of it, because you could do. Remember that joke about your mom when you're like, how long is she gonna live
that
with
one.
you? There was the one about my mom
Yeah.
lives with me, and so how long is she gonna live with me? And you're like, well, she is 78 or something like that, or I am massacring this goddamn.
If that's how it's mangled in your head, I'm gonna kill myself. I really will. I can't tell you how long I worked on the wording on that joke, Jackie.
Because it was mean. But it was freaking hilarious. And someone might go, oh, that's punching down on old people. And you're like, yeah, watch me do it. And then laugh at it. And
Exactly.
which is
welcome. Have a seat in the front row. Please enjoy yourself.
Because I'm not good at it. And when I do it, if I say a mean thing, you know that I meant it super mean. And I wasn't trying to be. I wasn't trying to be funny. I was literally trying to hurt your feelings. And then
you don't when you say something mean, you don't have a sparkle in your eye, like you don't mean it. You have a death
Right.
eater look in your eye. It's
Right.
terrifying.
Yeah, right. Rotten hell is the undercurrent of me saying something mean to you, which is why I work on my anger issues.
you work it out on other people at the store.
No, I like to meditate, man. No, I don't meditate. So last night's show was, I thought it was just me and Laura. I thought it was just Maria and I. And I thought I would do 25 and she would do 45. And that's what she thought. And then two other comics showed up. And so it turns out we were all, and Laura, and I said, so how much time are we doing? And Maria got this look at her. I was like, yeah, I know you don't want to follow 15, 25, 25, and then you do 45. And she was like, I absolutely don't want to do that. And because no one should have to do that. But it turns out because we didn't really get any info about
how long, like a DIY show.
Yeah, so I asked because one of the guys was an MC, a guy named Cam. I don't think it's short for Cameron, but whatever it was, his name's Cam. And so he said, well, I'm supposed to do 15. And then the three of you are all doing 25s. So it was me, Ismo, you know that guy from Finland?
Oh yeah. I love Ismo.
And
he's a nice guy.
Super nice guy. And then Maria. And so
I think it's Ismo, not Is. Ismo.
Okay. And Cam did 20. I did 30. Ismo did 30. And then Maria did 30. So we all went 5 minutes over.
That's a fucking great show.
Yeah, it was an amazing show.
It's an amazing show.
Yeah. And then tonight we're doing the Opera House. And I think Maria's supposed to do 45 tonight, which means the rest of us are probably just doing 10s.
Neat. That's a fun gig.
Yeah, super fun gig. And
well, I'm glad I'm not booked for it.
Again, no. But how's the attic? How's the comedy attic treating
The
you?
attic is great. It's okay.
Always.
So I got in a day early,
Good.
which is and bizarrely, Lisa Curry was flying into to Indianapolis the same time I was for something else completely, and she and her cousin gave me a ride to the hotel on Thursday night. We got in we all got in super late. You can't get to Indianapolis before 11 p.m. It's impossible at this point.
No, that's why you have to come in a day early. How but Jared hadn't set up a ride for you?
No, he was gonna, and I said, you won't believe this, but someone else is coming in at the same time, Lisa Curry, and
you found that out before you went. Okay.
Yeah, Lisa just let me know. It was very nice. So we got to gossip and talk about the industry, and her cousin was like, I can't believe you put up with that shit. So that was fun.
What does her cousin do for a living? What glamorous job does she have that doesn't have any bullshit?
He I don't know. It was like a normal job, and I think he was also a musician, so he sort of had a little hand. He kind of knew that kind of stuff, but yeah, it was mostly us talking about packets.
Oh,
it was, and that fills an hour. Trust me.
Oh, that should be a Patreon extra episode.
Oh, that's yeah. So okay, I don't know where to even start. So much happened this week. So, my dear son has COVID. He has COVID.
Boo!
So he got it from at school. A friend of his came down with it on Friday, and then my son, his friend didn't, but my son and a couple of his friends played games, like video games, and they made videos in the garage, all doors open. No one had any symptoms, and air purifiers were on, right?
Right.
So that's Saturday. Sunday, my son wakes up with a hoarse voice, and I'm like, fuck. But then I was like, he was shouting. He was making his videos. He shouts like he's being murdered. Like they make these like crazy videos.
I remember his videos when he was 10.
Album. Yeah, they've gotten worse or better depending on your POV. But so I'm like, he's probably hoarse, and I had purifiers running. They do make your voice hoarse. So we're hanging out all day, and I have some tests. So I'm like, let me just test you just in case. And the 2 tests come up inconclusive, and they're expired, even though the government website says they're supposed to still be working. These are government tests that expired. So I'm like, oh, I don't want to go buy a test. They are expensive. I don't feel like leaving the house. But then his cough gets worse. And so I go buy a test. I buy a couple tests, and we give them to, like, hey, Jackie, can you pop up? I'm looking at Kyle doing homework. No offense. Where's Jackie?
If you could swipe your phone. Swipe your phone.
I'm on an iPad.
Swipe your iPad, and then you should get gallery view.
There you are. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So he comes up a very strong positive, like 2 bright red, bright pink lines. And I was like, fuck, I've been hanging out with him all day today, and I'm convinced I'm going to get it. So we both get PCRs the next morning. Good. And the whole time I'm just like, 2 days, I don't have symptoms, but it's also a thing where if anything's wrong, you're like, oh fuck, this is it. It's starting now.
Right.
It's
like if you get black pepper in your throat and cough, you're like, oh my god, I have COVID.
Yeah. And because all right, so I don't get, I come back negative. You come back negative. PCR,
which is good.
He comes back positive, right?
Okay.
And by this time, as soon as we got the home test negative, he was in the garage. I had every door window open. I had all the purifiers on full blast, just trying to clean the air in the house. And so he stayed in the garage till I left, and now his dad's sort of caring for him, right?
Yeah.
But here's my thing, which I'm just putting this out there, is I was with a COVID positive person he wasn't masked in the house. He was hanging out. We were in a very small square footage together. All I had going for me, besides my vaccines, was the air purifiers. And I did not get COVID. And I just want to let everyone who's a parent out there, or if you have roommates, or you have people that that are coming home every day, if you have kids coming home every day, if you run air purifiers only, you don't maybe that will protect you from getting COVID if they bring it home.
Do you run them when he gets home? Is that when you
I
start
run them
running
all
them?
the time. I started running them all the time in December just because of the uptick. And he's at school all day and he wears a mask too, but he's a teenager, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know that he's wearing it. I don't know if it's squeezed tightly. You know what I mean? Like you can't
Yeah.
monitor.
No.
I'm very anal about it, but he's like, oh, all right, I'll do it. You know, so I don't know how strict he is, you know?
Yep.
So anyway, so I'm very, very bummed that he has it, even though it's a mild case. It's just a lot of like coughing.
And he
stuff
can't
like.
take the Paxlovid, you said, right? Because they're
No,
not going to
no.
get to
He doesn't.
teens.
They do, but he doesn't have a terrible case. He doesn't have a fever. You know, he's just sleeping a lot and has a hoarse throat. So it's a mild case.
Okay,
So
good.
that's great. But
And-
you know, I my worry is how many times can you get COVID in a lifetime before it starts to dismantle you? And I'm like, all right, fuck, he has one check now. You know what I mean? So that's a bummer to me, and I
Right.
want to convey that to him without depressing him.
Right.
Just saying,
You don't want to overthink it to
No, I
him
mean-
because it'll bum him out. Yeah.
right? You how many times?
get that.
Whatever. Okay,
I get it. I get it.
Okay, so that's happening. So I'm here. You know, I was prepared. Also, I was prepared to tell Lisa. Not only are you picking me up at the airport, you might actually be taking my kid because I don't know if I can do this. But I was negative all the way up, and I feel fine now. So it worked out okay. That's just my pitch for proper ventilation for anyone who lives with other people.
Yep.
So this week is I'm going to Moon Tower, right?
Right. Which I
so
have
I'm
not
doing
been
Moon Tower.
invited to. Thank you so much.
You did it last year.
I think it was the year before. Might have been last year. Who cares? I'm just saying it because you've been talking about festivals a lot. So
You went last year. These festivals you're going to every fucking weekend. I've never even heard of the states they're in. Okay.
Right.
Okay. So I emailed Colleen, and I think we're gonna do this. Is I said, hey, I'm happy. What if I offered swimming lessons to comics in industry if anyone wants to take free swimming lessons at the hotel pool? She's like, let me think about it. Maybe we might do it. It might do it like on a Saturday morning from like, you know, a 2-hour block. I know some comics, you know, I mean, I'm no Matthew Broussard. That guy is a fucking great swimmer. I swam with him when we worked together in Austin. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. He's amazing, right? His girlfriend the last woman he was with, I don't know if they're still together, but she was an Olympian. Like he's an elite swimmer. I'm not saying I'm Matthew Broussard, okay? I think Cameron Esposito was a swimmer too. I'm just saying I came up with the idea first, guys. So haha. Anyway, I'm happy to if people want to work on their stroke. If you know how to swim,
Mm-hmm.
okay. If you hold on, if you I'm trying to get gallery view then. It's not showing up. Whatever. Okay. If wait, I see it. There we go. So if you don't know how to swim, we can practice floating. You can practice getting comfort in the water, okay? And whatever level you're at, I will meet you at. I have had incredible stroke instruction from a legend named Bill Boomer. I took 2 weeks with him at Stanford University. It was a master's class. It was a long time ago, but he changed my freestyle. So I'm happy to offer what I know, and I'm always watching Instagram videos of swimming and stroke instruction and stuff like that. Just putting that out there if any comics are going to be there.
Right. And it is something that a lot of comics try to do as exercise. So they like to do laps.
Yeah.
It's a great exercise.
Yeah.
So if you want to learn how to do that and learn how to do it better,
we can work on your flip turns.
Yep.
We can work on your streamlines.
Or
we could just work on you being in a pool, like getting in a pool. I'll hold your hand. We'll work on floating on your back. So we can maybe the beginning. I can't do it on one day, but the beginnings of drown proofing you if you feel like you don't know how to swim at all. You know, some people are afraid of the water completely. It's
please
really
call the name. Please call the workshop drown proofing. So my whole thing with swimming is I never want to open my eyes underwater because I feel like water will seep into my skull and my skull will explode. I know that that's not real.
Let me talk you off that cliff. It's true. Actually, you're right. No, my son swims without goggles for 2.5 hours a day, 2 hours a day. I'm like,
Okay.
I don't understand it. I wear goggles. I've always worn goggles. I wear my contacts and I put goggles on. I've never lost a contact lens
Yeah.
in 40 years. So
Right. Of swimming. Very
yes.
beautiful.
Okay. So that's happening possibly at Moon Tower.
Right. You had shows,
oh.
what, Thursday and Friday? Oh, go ahead.
No, so I had 2 last night. They were really fun. And then 2 tonight. So I brought t-shirts. I brought my t-shirts that Caitlin Gill made, and
Yep.
they're selling pretty well. The t-shirt, I mean, so what I did to make it easier for me to find the sizes is I bought a bunch of ribbons from Michael's, okay,
Nice.
and I assigned each size a color, okay,
You
and then I took
are shrewd. That's awesome.
and then I took safety pins and just put ribbons on every single shirt so I could find it a little bit easier. But now I'm like, oh wait, which color's large? Like I've got to memorize the colors. But it's a little easier than squinting and trying to look for
Yeah.
size. It is a little bit of a pain in the ass to handle different sizes of things versus a book. It's just like, boom, here you go. But it's not terrible. And
or
it
a
is,
beanie. Or a beanie.
A beanie's a great idea. I do think like if you, for me, if it's a city I've been to frequently and I have people returning to a show, they might already have my books. So it's a different thing to buy. But I had a lot of new people that hadn't been to comedy clubs before or hadn't seen me before. So whatever, I don't know. I'm going to type a name in. This person who I love and I think is hilarious. Okay, so I'm at a show this week. I'm on an iPad.
Oh, in LA somewhere, right?
In LA. All right, in LA. And where's the chat on the? All right, it doesn't matter. So I'm wearing a mask, right, in the green room.
Yep.
Like my usual. Got my little purse air purifier with me to bring on stage, which I don't know if that helps, but I don't know if it makes me feel better. So that helps because then I don't think of the aerosols that are going into me. Okay.
Right.
That's all. That's it. I don't bring it up. I don't mention it.
Yeah.
But, so in the green room, this comic goes, at this point, I have to assume you're immunocompromised. Like really loudly in the green room.
Right.
And
it's not.
It's like, but if I was, is that how you handle it? I mean, we have cancer survivors that are comics. If you have diabetes, plenty of diet comics. Okay, here's the chat. Plenty of comics with immuno that are whatever. I'm typing in.
Everybody's a mess.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know that person. Okay.
You do.
All right.
But then I was like, no, I'm fine. Then I don't want to get into a giant discussion about what I, COVID, who cares? We all know what we know, right? So then I'm saying goodbye to people and I'm hugging people and everyone starts to treat me like my bones will break if they hug me. They're like, are you sure? And they're turning their head away. It's like, you fucker, that's not how COVID works. If you have COVID, you turning your head away from me in a hug is
not going to help.
That's not going to do anything. And so stop. It drove me nuts. I'm like, I thought we all knew the basics. And you were being like, Jackie, like, fuck it. I'm tired of caring about it.
Right. Yeah.
Whatever. That drove me nuts.
Yeah. So I put in the chat, is that the person you're talking about? Okay, good. All right. So
I think they're hilarious, and I think they're really funny. I was just really surprised because if I was like trying not to let the industry know I was immunocompromised, and someone just would yell at me in a green room, maybe I don't know. Maybe that's
you didn't need to be outed
of approaching.
Right. You didn't need to be outed as a human who cares about disease. You don't need it.
Yeah, I mean, technically, maybe because of my age, I'm a little more vulnerable. Sure. I don't know. As we all know about me, I'm assuming the worst and then taking it down from there. Okay, so here's something. Yeah. So, all right. So Louis, sold out Madison Square Garden, and
CK did he?
Yes. And fine, whatever. It's
fine.
Life goes on for everybody.
Right.
And I just had to. I don't know, when you start like, looking at tweets about it, the comments of bros who are like, "Fuck yeah, he's back." The joy they have is so depressing to me, because
It's
it's
gross.
not like
It's
it's not
genuinely
like, "Fuck
gross.
yeah, he did the work and he grew emotionally and now he's back." That's not it at all. It's like, "Fuck yeah, fuck those women, fuck it all." And
Mhm.
it just makes me sad. So I made a couple of little videos about it, and I
Okay.
put one on YouTube, and I said, "Hey, Louis stands, Louis C.K." I wasn't talking about Louis, I was talking about the people that love him.
Yeah.
And I said something. I'm going to paraphrase myself. Hopefully, I won't paraphrase me as badly as you just did. But like, you can't say you're glad Louis back, like, fuck yeah, and also make fun of women who fall in love with serial killers. Like, you're basically the same type of person. Okay.
Right.
And tell you, when I put that little short on YouTube, it attracted the wrong kind of people to me. And then I started arguing with them. And then I'm like, I feel bad, not guilty, but just bad as in being alive. Like, how many times can you call someone a dumb fuck before you're like, it's not working? They don't care. Why am I trying to argue for my own existence to someone named with a pseudonym? You know what I mean?
Right. Some egg. Yeah.
Exactly. So I basically, then I pulled out of that, thank God, of that spiral. I left the video up because I didn't want them to think I had won, because they kept going, "I bet she's going to take it down. I bet she's going to disable comments. She can't handle it." Which to me, that really does bait me. I fall for that. So
Right. I don't. You know what I do? I delete the
What?
comments. I block. I'm just like, let me help you away from me. Let's make both of our lives better. So that you don't have to tolerate this. And I certainly don't want to tolerate, like, but the rule of
We're
thumb
on
for me.
different planets. Why are we colliding right now?
Right. And so, and I've said this before, but the rule of thumb is if you talk to me like that and I would walk away, I will block you and delete your comment. Like, if I wouldn't tolerate it in person,
Yeah, you're right.
I'm certainly not going to tolerate it in the comment section of my own social media page.
Yeah,
so, but whatever. Yeah.
When I post like a kind of a jokey thing, people take it really seriously. Those are the people that come in, they're angry. Yeah.
Right.
But
or they're just like, I see that this is a joke, but what I would like to say about empathy is that it's, and you're just like, slow your roll, brother. Okay.
That drives me nuts. And then on TikTok, I posted a while ago. I love Harry and Meghan, right?
Yeah, you do.
Think I've privately spoken to you about your negative comments on our podcast about this sacred couple that you need to leave alone. So I did like this. Hey, I'm so glad we have a Harry and Meghan back. And I said, but if you people think of sending us Edward and Sophie, those are the Wessex. Prince Edward is the Count of Wessex. Sophie's his wife. I don't want to bore you, but it's Prince Charles's least. It's his brother that's not a pedophile. Okay. So that's all I posted. And an anti-Meghan TikTok group started responding to me. Who's we? You don't speak for me. And I'm like, oh my God. And it's the most engagement I've ever gotten on a TikTok. And it's all women. It's weird. Like, the Louis stuff was all men. And the women, the TikTok not taking me seriously and arguing with me was almost all women. I don't know what to say about that. I'm just pointing it out.
Right. I've gotten a couple of duets, in one of the clips I put. For some reason, I don't say rock, scissors, paper. I say paper, scissors, rock. But I do scissors, paper, rock for some reason.
I think all three of those are wrong.
Rock,
Right.
paper,
On
scissors.
Conan, whatever I do, what is it?
It's rock, paper, scissors.
Rock, paper, scissors. Well, I say paper, scissors, rock.
Didn't say.
and I do it differently so on Conan, I do the joke about it, and I say it wrong, and I do it differently with my hand. And there's there's two people who did duets, and my favorite one
Oh,
was
no.
the guy who did a duet, and he's like, "Your hand knows that you're wrong. Your hand knows that you're wrong." And I was like, and I wrote, "This is the
Hilarious.
greatest response. Well done." Hey, let's take a quick
That's
break.
hilarious. Okay. All right, we're back. But here's my, just off of what we just were saying, I read that the Trump people would deliberately misspell words on tweets because they got more engagement, and that's all
Oh.
they wanted.
That's hilarious.
I don't know.
And I'm sorry to lead into Jordan with this, but comic of the week.
Yay! Very funny, Jordan Jensen. I saw
Jensen.
her.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the Minneapolis spelling. But I saw her a clip at the Comedy Attic. She's going to be at the Comedy Attic in a couple weeks, and she's so funny. And I don't think I know her. And I'm like, is she Canadian? I got that feeling of like, wait, where's this headliner coming from that I haven't? But maybe, people are growing up on other coasts and you just don't meet them. But she's really funny, Jordan Jensen, and she has really funny stuff about having two moms as her primary parents, which
cool.
I laughed out loud at when I was watching the clip. Also, so what's her handle?
Instagram handle,
Kyle?
or
It is. She is on Instagram at Jordan Jensen LOL stop.
and Jensen is Jensen, so it's
Yes.
JORDANJENSEN LOL stop, and
Yes.
it'll be in the
Such a
notes.
good handle.
She's
It's a
great.
good one.
Also, Jackie, your clip is playing because you're at the attic in a couple weeks, and it's the empath bit.
Yeah.
It's great, obviously, but also it looks really good. Like, it looks better than a couple of the TV sets I'm watching that they're playing as well. Just the different angles, and I don't know. but
He
I
must have
just wanna
pulled it from.
congratulate you
Oh, thanks.
from your special.
He pulled
Yeah.
it from the Horcrux special, I think.
Yeah, I don't know which special, but it
Wait, am I wearing a black shirt?
Compare.
Red curtain or gray curtain?
It's a green curtain. Green or
Okay.
gray.
Green or gray. So that's actually staycation. So good for him.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, no, compared to the TV sets, it actually looks like more like a TV set than anyone else's.
Well, you know who did it was the guy who edited your 45. It was Ryan from
Ryan,
6
right?
Point, not 6 Point. Black Iris. Yeah, he did it. And now I'm
what I'm
nervous.
saying is,
I don't have a
good-looking
plane
special.
ticket to Indianapolis, so I don't know when I'm going to the attic. But March. Okay, that's 2 months from now. March 15th.
It's a month from now, and you should get it during this podcast.
Right.
While I'm talking emotionally from the heart, you should go onto Travelocity.
Okay, so my mom-in-law is in the hospital right now. She's in the hospital.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So she's been in a great deal of pain for like the last week or so. So I took her. Andy tried to take her to the ER, and they waited 2 hours at Ronald Reagan, and
UCLA?
Yep. And they said it would be another 4 hours, so they came home. So she's in all this pain, and I keep telling her to take more meds, and so that's fine, but she just she doesn't feel well, and I think it's not normal not feel well. I think she has something new wrong with her. So they tried to go to the ER and it didn't work, and now so I took her I got her to her primary care doctor a couple days later, and her oxygen levels were in the 80s.
Ooh,
and
shit.
Right, they're supposed to be in the 90s, and they're supposed to be in the high 90s. So her primary care doctor, UCLA again, was like, you gotta take her to the hospital. And I said, can't you just check her into the hospital? And that isn't done anymore. You have to be triaged through ER, and ER always takes at least 4 hours, is what I'm told.
It's our ER system is starting to fall apart. We're headed toward NHS territory, in my opinion.
I have no idea what the hell. But so I take her, and the doctor was like, I will call the ER and tell her that she's having this problem, and hopefully you can be seen. And so she was seen an hour and a half. After an hour and a half,
And you'd already waited 2 hours the first time.
Right, a different day. So we show up, we check her in, we go to Santa Monica, which is a lot smaller. But get this, so
Okay.
they finally check her in and they get her pretty comfortable, and she's in a little room off of the ER, like one of the triage rooms, right? So Andy has been at work all day. We switch around. We get there around 4:00. I leave at 8:15. He stays there till like 1. They're like,
you guys are allowed in to hang out?
just one person can stay. So, but the thing is so they're like, well, we're gonna admit her, and 24 hours later, she's still in that ER room because there's no room available.
Right.
And now she got a room today, and today is Saturday, and she went in on Thursday. So,
that's a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot. And then, but now they're going to keep her and they're going to try to figure out, and it was because of the oxygen, because her oxygen was so low.
Jackie, I was here with my mother, and really think hard if you guys are going to put, they recommend she goes to a skilled nursing facility.
Don't do it.
I wouldn't do it.
It'll kill her. It'll kill her.
Yeah, I would, whatever kind of rehab she needs to do it at the house. It's going to cost a little bit more, but yeah, that's my opinion.
And she'll be happier at the house. And her bed is kind of hospital beddy. Like her bed is one of those electric ones that can go up.
Yeah.
And it's an electric bed. So that's good news. And then she has a chair that's an electric, one of those chairs that'll push you up.
Yeah, I love those chairs.
So we have equipment, right? So, and then we'll just have to pay for someone to come.
Yeah.
And be a person. And plus, I was told that there's like I think it's aging.ca.gov, and that'll and they'll find you an in-home nurse, and they'll help pay for it because of California state.
That's good.
So that's good. Anyway, so
and that person needs to mask because they're visiting
different
many patients.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we'll need to mask, and she'll need to mask, and so it'll be the biggest problem is that I have a lot of road work coming up. And so Andy's, and I asked Andy at the hospital, I was like, do you want me to cancel this Traverse City thing? And he said, no, I think I got it. And he does, but he had to cancel a couple of classes. He teaches game design at this tech college.
Right.
So he had to post.
Fucking hard, man.
He'll have to reschedule. But we do have some people that will help, and there's a couple of comics who need work, and like Kyle's driven Chris to
I love it. Me and Chris are old buds now.
Yeah. And
that's great.
Get this, and Gordy, who bit our friend Judy. Gordy is now warmed to Judy.
That's great to hear.
That's great to hear, because Gordy and Kyle have had a hard relationship.
The lawsuit's been dropped now.
Yeah.
Oh
God. It was. Anyway.
Well, shoot. It's better to be in the hospital than a sniff. So as long as they can keep her there, that's good. I wish they could start to do rehab in the hospital, because the old people lose their muscle tone so quickly. It's crazy. Like my mom was, in the hospital for a couple of days, and they're like, oh, now she needs to learn how to walk. Like, what? He was just laying down for 4 days. But that's enough if you're that elderly sometimes.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? I don't know. I don't have I blazed through all my notes.
Well,
I made notes. I mean, look at that.
Look at that. And I did what did I do? I booked Vegas in May, and 7 days, 14 shows, Comedy Cellar.
Awesome.
And,
I mean, you'll be insane by Friday, probably.
Right, by Monday, because it's a Monday to Monday, right?
Whoa.
Are they 20-minute sets?
15 supposedly, and 4 comics. I texted I texted a couple of the comics asking them, did I tell you this?
Oh
I
yeah,
might
but
have.
tell everyone.
Yeah, it was that this guy, he wouldn't tell me how much
Yeah.
he was making. He wouldn't tell me how many shows there were. And then I found
What?
out how much I was right. I was like, well, you can tell me how many shows there were. And but it's the worst money in the world. But
Ugh.
supposedly it goes up if you do it again and again. It's just sort of, it's one of those situations, and clubs do this where they're like they're like low money the first time, and then they never book you again. That's what happened at the Skyline in Appleton. He was like, if you do it for low money, I promise I'll bring you back for real money. But I understand that she does
sense.
it does if you're doing new comics and you don't know what the numbers will be. I see
Skyline,
what they're
Jackie,
doing.
you're fucking from Wisconsin, okay?
Right,
You have
right.
a draw.
Oh yeah, it should have all been fine. But no, you're right. And it's an excuse, right? But to my knowledge, this Vegas gig does raise the money as you do it. And plus, you get to she said that I could submit avails to do the Cellar in New York then. Granted, I never do go to New York. I go to New York once a year. So maybe, but that'd be nice if I get to do it.
Yeah.
And then Amy Miller told me that there's a mini golf in the Rio that is based on the band Kiss. And so I'm kind of interested in playing that mini golf.
Sure.
Hey, let's take another quick break.
Okay.
And we're back.
All right. Jackie, now I got some work. What have I craved that you have?
I think you mostly want my sitcom. No, what? I have no idea. What?
No, the
you
club
wanted...
that you keep working. I'm like, why you and not me, given my family's historical ties to the area?
Oh, did you, Albany Funnybone? I'm not. They haven't had me yet. I was only there opening for Maria.
Okay, you were there. What I'm saying is
that you're going to get
my
to
dead
headline?
ancestors and not me. Yes.
Oh, congratulations!
So
I say, as it's pulled out of me, because I want to visit Joe Wilson. Joe Wilson has cancer. He used to host the Dork Forest, and he lives in Albany, and that's why I want to work the Albany Funnybone. So, but it is a nice club.
Okay, I'm there February 24th and 25th.
Oh wow!
I need everyone in Troy, Schenectady, all Kilmartins. Call to all surviving Kilmartins. There's not many. A lot of, you know what? It's weird. Like I went into Ancestry, right? And
bring a date. Bring a date. All you surviving.
February 24th and 25th. Okay, and bring a date. But they are like a lot of us just stopped the famine started. Like the trees just stopped, right? So the survivors came to Albany, and people got married. There are not a lot of Kilmartins that have still kept the name. They've married off or whatever. But there's a few. I almost feel like tagging everyone with my last name in upstate New York.
Right.
Like, hey, come see your cousin.
Yeah.
Your blood's on stage.
Yeah. Do it now. Now's the time.
5% discount on a t-shirt.
5%.
Hey, guess what? The woman who took Kilmartin.com in '97 is in town. That's why you can't have your last name as a domain. I'm here. Come get me.
I'm in Vermont that weekend, so we're both East Coast.
Oh, nice. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be on the same time zone for
the
pod.
For the pod reasons. I'm home this week. I go to visit my dad tomorrow, Sunday. Or yesterday when this airs. But and then I go home, and then it's Valentine's Day, you guys. Love is in the air, Silverthorne, Colorado. And then Comedy Works for the weekend. And then I'm home, and then it's Vermont. So I wonder, do I have a flight to Vermont booked? I certainly hope so. Note to self.
Why don't you fly into JFK and take the train to Vermont?
Why? Is that something?
You could do it. I mean,
know, but why,
you don't have to.
Why would I?
I don't know. It's so expensive to buy last minute to Vermont. It's not that expensive to go last minute to JFK, but then that
Okay.
extra little hour-long flight to Vermont is where they get you. That's all I'm saying. If it's really expensive, like take Amtrak.
Okay. And I'll say
My suggestion.
I bought so I'm going to Hutchinson, Minnesota to do the Saturday gig, and they added a Friday
Mhm.
gig. And because of that, and I was trying to book, and it was $1,000 for like main cabin Delta. So
Oh my God.
I know. So I checked Southwest, and I thought I had a credit on Southwest, but I do not. But I called
You got
Southwest.
to use it within a year.
Well, I don't have any. And so I called up Southwest, and I was like, "Don't I have a credit?" And the woman goes, I said, I said, and I am A-list now, right? Because I've been using Southwest a lot. She was like, "Let me check." And I said, I've been flying Southwest a lot, and I said, and I've had no problems. And there was this weird pause, and she goes, "Oh, thank God." And so what I did was I ended up booking one way to Minnesota on Southwest, which was like $300. And then I used all of my a good portion of my points on Southwest to book home. So it's just costing me $310 to go to Minnesota, which is amazing.
Finagling. Yeah,
right. There's always some sort
I'm
of
American on the way out here and Southwest on the way back.
Oof. Southwest is usually pretty good to Indianapolis, but Indianapolis is such a hard place to get to. It's weird.
Yeah, when you get booked at the Comedy Attic, you have to buy that ticket immediately because those prices go up so quickly. Right. And I got the American Airlines credit card advantage because you get like 60,000 miles instantly, and it's free one-check baggage. So
okay, so there's that. So you're gonna commit to United. All right.
No, American. American
somehow
has some kind of alliance with JetBlue. I just want stuff that flies out of Burbank. I do not want to go to LAX. I want to avoid it at all costs.
And you are, so good for you. That's good.
At high cost.
At high cost, but you're doing it. It's so you're right about Vermont, because I about getting that ticket for Bloomington, because I don't think I have that ticket, and it is coming right up because it's Vermont, Minnesota, and then Bloomington.
Yeah, the club expects you. They're promoting you, and so you
right. Please come.
Ticket, Jackie.
Yeah, please show up. They would like that. The good news is that I think so that's March, and then I'm home for 2 weeks. The last 2 weeks of March, I am home. 3 weeks. Holy smokes, 4 weeks. And then I do this weird Silver Spring, Maryland, and Arden, Delaware, and then I'm in Seattle in April.
Cool.
Oh, and then Vegas the first week of May. So I don't know, but I'm told that merch is pretty good.
Oh, at the Vegas room?
Yeah, I heard that the merch is good at the Vegas room. So, and you're doing, 2 15-20s or whatever they are a night. I suppose I'll be able to work on stuff. But
I don't know.
I don't know. It's Vegas. You're right.
If you, it's the cellar. She has monitors in the cellar of all the rooms, including Vegas, that are like performing. I think she has the Vegas one up there too, although it's kind of weird because they're 3 hours behind. But I would act as if you're being watched on every set, especially this first time out, and work on your greatest hits. Work on a TV set. Right. That's what I would do.
Oi. All right. I'll there's already so many. I mean, it's a good opportunity. It genuinely is.
Yes. Yep.
And
it's always good to polish already polished gems. I mean, maybe you'll get another tag. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It'll be good.
Your great bits that work, enjoy killing. That's it. You get to enjoy killing in Las Vegas.
You know what? I would like to
Yeah.
kill, and because remember the last time I was in Vegas, I did
Oh,
not because I was
yeah.
working with those two weirdos, and
Right.
and so yeah, and the good news is Ron Vi lives there now,
Oh yeah.
so I
I
get to
love
hang out
Ron.
with Ron Vi if he's around.
Is
And
he working that week too?
no, but he
There?
lives in Vegas.
Jackie, that's a good place for a comic to live. You
That's
know?
what he says. I don't know. You know,
It's
it's a good place for a
I think
comic to
it's
live where I live. It's great.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's affordable, especially compared to San Francisco where Ron used
Okay.
to live, right?
Okay.
And
Sure.
they always need in a pinch, they need somebody, you know. I bet
Mm,
the
I don't
locals,
know.
once you get
I
established, get a lot of last minute
pick
gigs.
if you pick up stuff, maybe that'd be
Yeah,
great if you did. That'd be great.
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Fly out pretty easily out of any place,
Yeah, it
you
does
know.
go everywhere, though it might not be direct.
Have I sold you? Pack your bags, Jackie.
You sold me on enjoy killing. That's what I've decided.
Yeah.
That's what I've decided
Yeah,
that those
you
are the
don't have to
words
have
I will
that
take.
nerves of, oh, is this going to work or not? No, I know it's going to work.
Yeah,
I know
just
it's
do
going
the
to
greatest
work.
hits. Last night, the 25 that I
Yeah.
chose to do was I wanted to do the never say no without a number bit because I had the
Mhm.
coins, and I had to do the
Mhm.
spooky reading bit because I had the pins. Because that's
Mhm.
all I brought. I didn't know if I would sell merch, so I brought the coins,
Uh-huh.
the pins, and then free stickers, and I ended up making a couple $100. So that's lunch. So for the week,
Yeah,
that's good. And
that's great.
yeah, and
If you were commissioning, that's your commission.
I think I am commissioning.
There you
And
go. You paid it off.
right, I paid it off, and but I said this to Maria with that I think they booked me because they
Mhm.
thought Maria was going to give me some sort of bump, which of
Oh,
course is rude.
yeah.
Because you should
Don't make her do
and
your work.
yeah, and I'm not doing the rest of her run. Like she's like tonight we're doing this Traverse City Saturday. Tomorrow night I
Mhm.
think she's doing Royal Oak, or Monday maybe she's doing Royal Oak. Comedy Castle. She's just doing one night of Monday, and then
Nice.
she's going to Indiana.
Yeah, she's here next week, and she's doing 3 nights too. I would love to get to be a 3-night comic at the Comedy Attic because I love hanging out in
Tuesday, Wednesday.
Bloomington.
Okay.
I don't know. She's doing 9 through 11, so isn't that Thursday, Friday, Saturday? I think.
Oh yeah, that would be Thursday,
You know who
Friday,
else
Saturday
is
next.
Dan Cummins is a 3-nighter here. He's doing a 3-night. Everyone else is 2. I would love to be famous enough. I don't ask for big fame, Jackie. Okay, I'm not trying to
You
sell out
don't?
the Beacon. I just want to work an extra night in the attic. That's it.
You know what? And here's what. If you get to work that extra night in the attic, you will want to do the Beacon. So that'll be your
True.
next. That'll be your next thing. It's
Do you know
yeah.
Taylor Tomlinson is like selling? Lisa told me she sold out so many shows at the Beacon, and they kept adding. They couldn't add more shows because they had other things, coming in. Like
Oh.
she's like there's a frenzy around her that's incredible right now, which is like I because I think she's like 27 or something, and I'm like, would I have even been able to handle all of that comes with it? You know what I mean? Like that's a lot. That's
Mm-hmm.
a lot. Like I would love it, but it's also a lot. You have all those things, people whose livelihoods depend on you.
Yeah.
Like no one's livelihood depends on me except my son's, right?
And Kyle.
Like that's it.
Yeah.
In a way, it's a little. Kyle started crying right now, but I don't know. It's incredible, and it seems like it happens every couple years. Like a female comic finds like hits, like Amy Schumer and Ali Wong, and now Taylor, and they just kind of they connect with generationally. They have a generational connection with an audience. That's really huge. So anyway, that's really cool.
Yeah.
And the former comic of the week. Again, I'm not taking credit for Taylor's success, Jackie. I would never.
I just checked, and it turns out I'm only doing Friday, Saturday too. So I thought for sure I was doing a Thursday. So I'm glad I checked because I would have flown in on Wednesday night like a weirdo. Because now I'm going to fly in on Thursday night and then just get to go to my breakfast place in Bloomington and walk to that weird street that has all those houses that are restaurants.
Is the
in
only
Bloomington.
soup restaurant
that?
still there?
It might be. It's on the square. That Jared loves that only
Yeah,
soup
Valerie
restaurant.
Tossi and I were real obsessed.
It's called Only Soup.
Yes,
That's
Yeah,
what it's
look-
called.
we
Yeah,
almost bought
I do.
T-shirts.
I do want some soup. I'm
Oh,
headed
I
out
do
that
want
way right now.
I want soup. All right, let's
gonna-
end it.
Go.